Hello everyone, in this video we are following chapter F6.2, Scaling Up in earthengine. I tried going through the chapter multiple times and found this chapter somewhat interesting, but difficult to many extents. So the first reason is that this chapter is for those people who understands the full capability of earthengine, or who wants to understand them as well. So earthengine is not just out of limitations, but actually they are not the limitations. They are something manageable, and such things arise once we try to utilize earthengine in a maximum ways. So the chapter shares us with the good coding practices, the principal concepts, and how to maximize this performability, I would say the performability in earthengine. So what I can suggest is to wait for the experts video walkthrough. So that will happen in the near future, and I am waiting for that as well. And so please go through these chapter once. There are multiple things, multiple minor things in every paragraph, and a lot of things to digest. So for the codes of the chapter, they are mostly towards the direction of exporting things from earthengine, such as exporting CSV and other files, and I'll very briefly go through them. So the objective in this video is not to understand them, but it is always an advantage to copy the codes for learners like us and use for our purpose. So anyway, I would like to highlight some of my understanding here. So the first thing, the chapter shares are these 4 different things: using the best coding practices, breaking up jobs across time and space, and doing things in these multi-part ways. And so good coding practice here means not involving the server side and the client side operations. So something done in the browser and something done from the earthengine server side. So the idea of this client side and server side operation is that the client side operations are performed within our browser, and server side operations are everything that is with this dot functions. So this is easy to say for now, but but there are complex things to talk on. So but let's understand only that much for now. And about this breaking the jobs across time and space, what I understood, it means performing simple operations within the required time, or maybe from the required area. So here in the very first code, so to briefly go through this, so here only the 3 states are selected. So this feature collection would have contained so many states, but the very general way to approach this is to do within only those 3 states, because that would reduce our work or the time. So here this code is basically trying to export these 3 different variables: precipitation and minimum and maximum temperature. So this goes for the year 2020, and doing this for every single day. And exporting has been done here as at the very end as CSV, and before that there are some things going on, which is finding the mean of those. And the other important thing here to note is that the only the selectors, you can see here the selectors. So this is also very useful because we just want to grab those things that we might need. So this is only taking the GeoID, date, and these 3 different other bands. So two different things here. The first one is to do only on those states, and maybe only selecting of certain time, so for only 2020, and doing the selection for only the required things that we might want to get. So again, these codes can be copied and tried with other data as well. So this is somewhat means to go through the breaking things in time and space. And the other thing is this one. So basically this code here is trying to export the image, this signal to image in different tiles. So this is breaking the image into multiple tiles, and this will be exported as the assets, and this will be within us, and finally we can do the mosaic of those images. So we are not exporting the whole single image, we are just breaking those images into small chunks and trying to export. And again, these codes can also be copied and edited, and we can do many things trying with other data sets as well. So this is what it means to go through the time and space. So what this I understood. This is the things these are the things I understood from them. And so this will reduce the time of the exporting. So this is the main objective, to do the things very efficiently, effectively, and within less time. And to go very quickly through this, the other thing is this parallel distribution system in the earthengine. So this system is something done as to break the pieces of different queries into different processors, and this is again to do the things in the more efficient way. So this is something that we might always want to remember. Earthengine works in parallel distributed system, and again this is something a very big giant topic for sure, but this is just to understand parallel distributed system in earthengine. And some other things such as processing being done per tile. So when we export mode has the higher memory. That means exports can handle a large amount of data while we're exporting. So operations are cached temporarily. So what it means is we can run the same codes of chunks and get the different results. So the chapter has big tables, 2 different tables. So things are explained much more nicely there. And so the other thing is the backwards throughout the processing chain, meaning what has been specified as the output will work in the other things, such as the domain, scale, and projections will be defined by the specified output, and for that output everything will be worked upon. And the very common thing to understand is that earthengine cannot print greater than 5,000 records. What this means is that if we, for example, print here in the console, for now this is only printing the single feature, but if this feature is greater than 5,000, this will gives us some error. So this is the most common error. So this code basically has limited to see the only one feature. So this can be done by dot limit, and the other one is dot size. This helps to know how much features or things are inside that, so 293 in this case. So these are something to understand. And so these are other suggestions, such as using earthengine server-side operators, operating multiple passes through the same image collection, avoiding unnecessary conversions, setting the processing scale or sample numbers, appropriate for the use case, avoiding using very fine scales or large samples without reason. But there are a lot of things in the chapter, such as these things, and also this chapter shows on how earthengine deals with origin codes. So best thing I liked about at the very end is that the chapter has these 4 tips, such as making repository each time for different project. And the very nice one we can directly adapt is this naming system. So we can see this this naming system very neatly written, such as this followed by dot, and then after the numbers we have this underscore, and then this name of the file, and this will sure helps to arrange the files, and even when we are working in the team, this will be very much informative just by looking at the names of the files. And there is something about the data types, such as using the 8-bit integers, 64 double-bit values. So this also makes the file size larger or smaller based on the data types. And understanding the data types is another thing. Just to say that if we can reduce the precision and also reduce the file size, the higher precision will have the higher memory or higher file size. And the last one, the tip 4, is to use the Google Cloud Platform for larger files. And how to use Google Cloud Platform is again another chapter. But these are the 4 tips that are suggested in the chapter. So I can draw the few conclusions from this chapter. Not that great, but simple things. So we need to use earthengine more and come back to this chapter, mainly to copy the codes of exporting things. So the nice one is that exporting of these Sentinel-2 images in different tiles and exporting it as assets, and later again bringing this as the single composite or single mosaic from those tiles. And the next one is we don't meet the problem if we haven't done anything. So same thing in the earthengine. So these all things will only appear once we start using earthengine in multiple things. So this is not about breaking the earthengine, it's about utilizing earthengine in various ways, and this will certainly bring some problems while we're trying to do things. And eventually this chapter will help us in the process. So again, the third one is everything is about optimizing and doing it quick, efficiently, effectively, such things. And the final one is this chapter should be read dozens of times compared to chapter F6. The previous chapter F6.1 and F6.0. So this was a very short video because this was not that this was very easy chapter, but because this is a complex one. So I hope this was helpful at some extent. So thank you for watching.